Hey Cake Chums, and welcome back to another video. Now we need to talk about the elephant in the room. Over the last couple of months, every time I've gone live or posted some content or spoken to cake people in groups or on Messenger or what have you, there has been one topic that has never failed to come up. And that is this question right here. I've honestly been avoiding answering that question, and that's because I've seen it become quite contentious online recently, which is a shame, but we'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, Cake International is coming ever closer, and I guess it's time to go on the record and let people know my decision. The tea is hot. Well, it's coffee actually. The coffee is hot, and let's get to the video. So for those of you who do not know, Cake International is probably the absolute highlight of my cake calendar every single year. It is literally the biggest cake show in the world, and it is truly international. It attracts artists from all over the world, from the States, from the Far East, from all over Europe, even from places as far afield as Australia. And every single year, me and all of my friends within the industry literally count down the days until the time that we'll be able to meet up and see our friends that sometimes we won't have seen since Cake International the previous year. Of course, we managed to maintain our friendships online using social media and video calls and phone calls and all sorts of different things. But there's nothing like being able to meet up together in person once a year and really just kind of catch up on all our news and excitement, and it really is an incredible weekend. Now, for those of you who have been subscribed to me for a while will know that I posted from Cake International London and Birmingham last year, and I might even have some videos that I can link up in the corner. I'll never remember which corner. This corner. I might even have some videos that I can link up in the corner for you guys to check out. But of course, at the moment, we are still dealing with the international pandemic, coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. And therefore, the kind of the topic of are you going to Cake International has become really quite a contentious talking point online. Now, before we get into any of the kind of the whys or wherefores or any of that, I'm going to go on the record now and say that unfortunately, I will not be going to Cake International this year. It's no reflection on the event or the event organisers or ICHF or anything like that at all, and we'll get into that in a bit more detail in a moment. But it's just a bit of background for you guys. Essentially, my husband and I are still living in lockdown. Yes, the UK lifted our national lockdown quite a while ago now, but because of the fact that I am a school teacher and I'm in school 3 days a week working in a class of 30 children with very little in the way of social distancing happening within our own bubble, and I'm still providing kind of some care type support for my mum, who many of you will know was taken quite seriously ill near the beginning of lockdown. I personally don't feel that it would be very responsible to travel a few hundred miles to an event that potentially will bring people together from all over the country, if not further afield, and then bring anything that I could pick up while I'm there back and potentially risk exposing the children in my class and my mother. Now, for those of you who don't know kind of what's been going on with me, with school, with my mum and so on, again, I did do a life update video a while ago now, and again, I'll pop a link up in the corner for you guys to go and check that out if you'd like to know a little bit more background about what's been going on. But yeah, essentially, I think that's been the main reasoning behind my decision as to why I won't be going this year. All along, since kind of news of coronavirus broke and lockdown was initiated and so on, I've very much been mindful of the fact that I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution. So that means that my husband and I have been wearing masks when we've been going out of the house. Before they were mandatory, we just chose to do it as a way to help keep other people safe. We don't go out other than to go to work and to go to the supermarket to stay stocked up on food and essential supplies. But we're not seeing friends, we're not seeing family members. We are very much trying to limit our movement as much as we can. Now, I am aware that because of the fact I am going to school and I'm seeing my colleagues, albeit at a distance, and I'm seeing the children in my class, and because I have an incredible online support network in regards to some of my friends, both in the caking industry and outside of that, I have been able to maintain those connections with people. I've been able to chat to my friends online daily. I have weekly kind of Zoom sessions with some of my closest friends in the cake industry. And all of those things have been so important to help me kind of maintain some sense of normality and look after my mental health and things like that. And I'm very aware that there are many people out there who don't have those support networks available to them. And so things like events, like Cake International, will probably be really important to them to feel like they can carry on and they've got something to look forward to and things like that. And so I would never kind of try to suggest that the way I've chosen to deal with the situation is the right way. There's that famous quote that everyone you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about, so be kind always. That's very much a mantra that I try to live my life by. And so while I've chosen not to go out of the house and not to see my friends and not to go to events like Cake International, I would never for a moment dare to tell somebody else that they shouldn't do those things, because we're each living our own lives and we all know so little about what everyone else is going through. So you ultimately have to choose what is right for you. Now, as I say, my decision is a very personal decision based on kind of what's going on in my life and in my working life and so on. And it by no means reflects what I think of the Cake International event or the Cake International team in any way, shape or form. I have absolute confidence that the team behind Cake International will have worked incredibly hard to put together an event that will keep everybody safe. They've published their 5-point safety plan online already, and it's available online. You can access it, and in fact I'll put a link in the video description down below so that you can go and check it out. But on there they talk about the things that they're going to do to keep the visitors to Cake International safe, and that's in addition to the plans for kind of limited numbers visiting in each session. I know they've talked about having some people go in the morning and some people go in the afternoon, rather than just your ticket allowing you to be there all day. And their 5-point safety plan talks about the social distancing measures that they will have in place. So like one-way systems, wider aisles to allow people to social distance, because of course we all know how crazy busy the event can get. There's going to be floor markings so that people know the way to go and to stay on the left and things. And the queues will be managed so that people are able to manage their social distancing. They also talk about that they're going to have increased training and cleaning for their staff, as well as providing face masks, sanitizer stations, perspex screens and things like that. They talk about communication. So before people even come to the event, they're going to be emailed things like floor plans so that they can plan their visit. There'll be advice on the best times of day to come to make sure that they're not all coming at the same time. They talk about how they're going to use technology to limit those interactions, so things like cashless checkouts and things, and even daily health checks for their staff to make sure that they're keeping safe as well. And in fact, the Cake International team have worked so hard on their preparation that I think I saw that they were awarded a Good to Go certificate, which is like a UK tourism mark that you can use to signal that you are adhering to all of the government guidelines. So, as I say, I'm 100% confident that the Cake International team will do everything in their power to make the event as safe and enjoyable as possible for all the attendees. But ultimately, personally, I feel like it only takes one person to let that system down, and that's the risk that I feel I'd be exposing myself to if I went to the event and then potentially bring that back into my mother's home and into my classroom. So as I say, a really, really personal choice for me. But as I say, I think, if you are someone who is going to Cake International, I think that you will have an absolutely amazing time. I think the team will have worked hard to make the very best of a bad situation, and I think they will do their best to look after every single person going. I'm going to be honest with you, the FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is so real. Cake International is literally, I'm not exaggerating, it is the highlight of my year. It's the weekend that I get to go and see all of my friends in the cake industry. It's the weekend that we normally have done some incredible installations that I'd be hard at work on right now. This time last year, I was building a life-size Father Christmas to be displayed at Cake International. I was working on a competition piece to enter into the kind of world-renowned competitions. I was creating contributions for collaboration displays that would be displayed at the event. Normally my workload is so Cake International focused as we get into the autumn, and I'm not doing any of it. Like, literally, I'm not contributing anything. I haven't been asked to provide anything for any displays. So it's crazy how you can go from it being literally like the center of your universe to it not happening at all. And I think that's why that FOMO, or that fear of missing out, is so pronounced, because for the last 5-6 years, it has been all I've thought about from like August to November every single year, and this year, zip, nothing. For those of you who aren't going to Cake International but still would like to be involved with the event in some way, the team have also put together the virtual Cake International competitions, which are, I think, pretty much as broad as the real one. So there's all the individual categories that you can still enter. And again, I'll put a link down in the video description for where you need to go to find out more about the online competitions and how to enter. I think you've got until the 2nd of October to get your entries in, so you've still got a couple more weeks. And again, they'll be judged by the Cake International judges, so you'll still get to take part in that side of things. And of course, one of the other big things that Cake International is well known for are the workshops with some of the most incredible artists, which will still be happening this year. Luma's Cake is coming over from France, my good friend Emma Jane, Gary Pollard, Michael Lewis Anderson, Enrique Rojas, Jane Taylor, Emily Hankins, Carla Puig are all going to be doing some fantastic workshops, and I'm sure that Cake International on screen will be back in some way as well, so I don't know if there'll be some sort of online demonstrations or workshops that people can sign up for as well. I haven't seen anything about those yet, but that doesn't mean they're not happening. But as I say, ultimately, I think just like the rest of us, Cake International have done their best to make the best of a bad situation. And I think however you choose to engage with the event, whether you're going, whether you're supporting it online, or whether you've decided, no, this year I'm just having a year off, I think that the team have done incredibly well and should be really commended. There might be people watching who are wondering why I've been so reluctant to talk about it, and why I felt the need to do a video to kind of announce my decision. But I kind of wanted to, because, as I say, some of the interactions I've seen regarding Cake International online recently have been incredibly contentious. I've seen people actively trying to shame the individuals who have said that they're not going to go to Cake International this year. Comments like, use it or lose it, or they've done so much for us, so now it's time for us to pay that back. And I don't think comments like that are, well, number one, acceptable, but also that they're not helping anyone. Again, to refer back to that quote, that everyone you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. If people have chosen not to go to Cake International, there will be reasons behind that decision, and nobody has the right to turn around and say that that is the wrong decision to make. If you're someone who feels able to go to the event and to support the event, then absolutely great, that's fantastic, and more power to you. But there are other people, myself included, who don't feel that's what's right for us at the moment in the world we are living in. And to turn around and tell people that they're letting down an event that has supported them over the years, or that it will be on them if Cake International fails and basically disappears. Girl, no, that's not okay. You have no idea why that person has made that decision not to go to the event, and to tell them that it will be their fault if Cake International kind of went out of business, that's not okay. And it's made me really quite angry, actually. I'm a member of a group all about cake shows where people talk about upcoming events and competitions and things like that. And some of the interactions that I've seen between kind of the we're not going people and the we are going people have become so personal and so offensive. And it's at a time like this, we all need to support each other. We need to be a community. And yeah, as I say, it made me really, really cross. And calm. But yeah, I guess that was really quite a lot of talking just to let you guys know the simple answer to the question, am I going to Cake International this year? Unfortunately, no, I'm not. And I am absolutely gutted that I'm going to miss it and that I'm not going to see all of my friends this year. I do hope that ICHF and the Cake International team are able to share as much of the event online as possible for those of us who can't go, because, as I say, the FOMO is real. And if you are someone who is going, please, please, please do just make sure that you follow all of the guidelines in place, both nationally but also from the Cake International team, and make sure that you are sharing everything online. I want to see Facebook Lives, I want to see videos, I want to see photographs, I want to see absolutely everything for those of us who are staying at home, because we're going to need to live vicariously through you guys. And personally, I can't wait until things get more back to some sort of normal and that we can all meet up again, because I miss all of my cake chums. While chatting online and Zooming and things like that are great, there's nothing like being able to meet up in person and just have a jolly good hug and a catch up. So I, for one, am counting down the days until we can do that again. But in the meantime, as always, stay safe out there, guys. Look after each other. Be kind. And until next time, happy caking. Take care, guys.